WCSU Radio, moving on the map, Super 88 stacks in your radio. Where y'all at?
We're waiting for the music to go off.
all right, Tasha, you gonna stop disrespecting. You gonna stop disrespecting Anita Baker.
It's all in love. We love Anita Baker.
No, you don't.
But today in WCSU Radio, oh my God, we have the legendary director of counseling at Chicago State University, Dr.
Legendary.
Patterson. Now, she is awesome. I love Dr. Patterson.
She's
very
a frequent
smart,
visitor.
very
to our
smart
home.
lady. She's definitely assisted us with quite a few incidents in the media.
She's a regular now.
She definitely is a. She's
Yeah,
definitely
Gerard,
a
if you're
regular.
listening, she gonna take your spot. You
Right. So Dr. Patterson, she just wants to share, as we all know, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and she's just going to shed some light on some of the events that they're hosting. She's also going to talk to us a little bit about awareness overall and as well as prevention. So Dr. Patterson, tell us a little bit about the events that you guys are hosting today on Chicago State University campus.
Well, October is a month of many types of awareness, and you mentioned Breast Cancer Awareness Month is also in October. But this week, today in particular, we are bringing awareness around domestic violence. Domestic violence is the silent epidemic in this country. 1 in 4 women will experience an abusive relationship in their lifetime, and there's such silence around domestic violence. In fact, women are battered every 10 to 12 seconds in this country as well. So everyone we know has been touched in some way with domestic violence, whether you know someone or whether you've experienced it yourself. And the purpose of this month is to bring awareness, not only to our country, but also to the Chicago State University community.
Gotcha. And then what are some of the, when you state awareness, just kind of being aware of some of the signs, because one of the things that I recently read is that a lot of women aren't aware of, even if they are in a domestic violence situation, because sometimes if it isn't severe, meaning you're not in the hospital, they don't look at it as domestic violence, or if you fight back, for example. I know Tina Turner said that. So can you explain to us a little bit about just give us some of that awareness?
Absolutely. You know, a woman doesn't go into a relationship expecting to be beaten or abused. Oftentimes it's very much an insidious and progressive experience. And over time, certain things happen just in terms of her emotional well-being. You know, the abuser may become controlling over time, and it may be perceived as, oh, he loves me, he's just looking out for me, and then it can progress to something much worse. And so oftentimes, the survivor of domestic violence doesn't really see it coming initially. And over time, the abuse gets worse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are some of the things that women today, some of the things that we can do to protect ourselves from this type of violence?
I think the first aspect is to really understand what domestic violence is, what abuse is, and which is really the purpose of what we're doing today, and understanding that no one has the right to verbally abuse you or physically abuse you or control your finances or other aspects of your life. And so, you know, domestic violence involves a sphere of different types of abuse, whether it's economic abuse, controlling when and where you go and how you get there and those sorts of things.
Wow. So
Right,
that's
it's
looked
very
at as
insidious.
abuse. So if you have a controlling mate that you have to kind of check in as if it was your father, you consider that
You
as
got to
abuse
carry
as
a
well?
page on you at all times.
You know, it can absolutely escalate to abuse. It absolutely can, because oftentimes the woman becomes isolated and she no longer has the social support that she needs.
Wow.
Right, it's very,
She lose a friend. She can't go out to the club.
Absolutely.
And you know, you get in free before 11, so she got to go before 11, be out by 12. And you got to make it home. It'd be serious.
It's absolutely serious.
Yes, it is.
And the
Yes, it
isolation can, you know, escalate into things like depression and anxiety and other emotional issues for the survivor. So it's very important that we bring awareness to the entire campus, because many women are living in silence in abusive relationships. They have no support. They don't necessarily know where to go to get support. And we have a host of community partners here at Chicago State today to provide resources and support. In fact, this week is Domestic Violence Awareness Week. And so today we're having a panel discussion here in the Cordell Reed Student Union Building from 12 to 2, where we're hosting our community partners, and they're going to be involved in a very, very informative panel discussion to discuss the very things we're talking about today. Some of those resources are the YWCA, Latinas in Action. We have law enforcement representatives here, and so we're going to be able to understand domestic violence from multiple perspectives. No. And I really, really encourage everyone to come out today between 12 and 2 to hear our panel and participate in this very, very important dialogue.
Now, definitely want you all to come out and participate. Now, I have one final question for you, Doc.
Certainly.
Now, in a situation where you're in a relationship and the first time you are struck by your mate,
run,
and you don't leave, can you say you're just as fault as the person who struck you?
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. You know, there's a myth about who's at fault. You know, as I mentioned, no one deserves to be hit. No one deserves to be humiliated, verbally criticized. And if a person hits you, you leave the relationship. Oftentimes, if it happens once, it's going to happen again. And it doesn't matter if it's a push or a shove or what have you. Abuse is abuse and can often escalate into something greater.
Absolutely. Now, I got one final question. Dr. Patterson, have you seen the Halloween costumes that a lot of people have been doing, and it's been captured on social media? Dressing up like Ray Rice, former NFL player Ray Rice, and dragging an actual blow up doll as the wife.
Oh, that's sad. That's not.
Have you seen that?
I have not seen it.
That is really
and that's
sad.
really, really disturbing to hear that this is going on. That there's a glamorization
of that, right?
Of abuse. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then on the flip side of this is just one quick thing I want to touch on. We hear it about women, and it's very true because, you know, we're the weaker sex physically. But can men be abused too? Because I've noticed a trend in women who like to hit, be it that they've come from an environment of abuse and that they feel that you don't love me if you don't hit me. So what advice would you give to a man who finds himself in that situation as well? Because it definitely can go the other way.
It absolutely can go the other way. In fact, 1 in 6 men have experienced an abusive relationship at some point in their lives. And aggression absolutely goes both ways, and it's treated exactly the same. If you are in an abusive relationship, you absolutely need support. You absolutely need resources. And for men who are in abusive relationships, it definitely goes underreported because there's so much shame attached and stigma attached around what it means to be masculine and what it means to be a man. And so we'll be speaking about that today as well. So I encourage all the men on campus to come on out because men too are affected by physical abuse.
Fellas, if you're women out there, they putting their hands on you, you
Get
gotta
out.
come and get some help.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Patterson. We appreciate your time as usual.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate you. You always step in to help us out.
Yeah.
Any type of violence or any time you can be of assistance, you are always here. So we really appreciate it. Dr. Patterson, if many of you don't know, assisted in some recent crimes around the area where young women were being raped, and she participated in the counseling and also helping with that. So she is an awesome resource here at Chicago State University, and we just want to thank you for your service.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time.
And if you want a regular slot, we'll just move Greg up out of here. You can
You know, I'm really loving this, you guys. Be careful what you ask for. I might be out here every week. Thank you so much.
Thank
I really
you,
appreciate it.
WCSU Radio. We're going to get back to the hits, and we're moving on the map. This is your girl, the lovely Latasha, here with my co-host, Super 8, as well as Greg Baker, and we're going to be coming up in just a few moments.
I'm out of a job now, y'all. I'm out of a job.